I love Banjo and Kazooie so much. I want the Banjo Kazooie collection games, the rare replay games, to come over to Nintendo Switch.
Absolutely.
I hope that Microsoft and Nintendo are working on that. However, now with the release of Banjo and Kazooie, I'm not hopeful for it. I would have thought that they would have released that around the time of the character, and thinking that the character was coming out months from now. So, I don't know.
Hey, Sakurai did get Xbox trending, so...
Phil Spencer can't get Xbox to trend. Leave it to ex-Nintendo employee Sakurai to get them to trend. Wow.
It's just throwing him a Jinjo there and just be like, yeah.
Hello, my DLC challengers. Friends, thank you for joining us today on the Nintendo Everything Podcast. This is episode 45.
45!
45.
Yes.
45. I am your host, Oni Dino. With me, I have an unprepared podcaster. It's Galen.
Yes, I had a response for that, but apparently I'm unprepared enough to the point to say
I forgot to prepare anything. Listen, I had a rough night last night. I'm coming out of my hangover right now. I've got my Pocari Sweat, I've got my green Dakara, and also a brand donut.
There you go.
Things are going well for me.
That's what you need. That's what you need.
Galen had a relaxing night. We're in Tokyo. Oh my god, TGS is happening.
There's a lot going on right now.
I'm unprepared. I'm trying to answer so much work emails. So very sorry for the craziness and the quality of disorganization that you are getting with today, the podcast. I have so much shame on my Twitter and my Instagram. I need to start out by saying a special shout out to Sammy. Sammy, one of our most just kindest, loveliest listeners. I insulted him through Twitter so bad. I have no memory of doing that. So sorry, dude. Don't stop tweeting right now. You're bringing up your tweets.
All of the shame.
Don't. Galen, so far, how are you doing? How are you enjoying?
I am loving being back in Japan. I had completely forgotten just the intensity of the heat again. This is the second time I'm going to mention this.
Yeah, right away. What? I feel like maybe you're having the jet lag still.
Possibly. I got no sleep on the flight over here.
That's fine. That's what you do. You don't sleep on the flight, and then you get here, and then you power through until you literally can't move.
I did. I powered through it. I stayed up until about 10 p.m. Tokyo time, and then just crashed hard.
Big recommendations for anybody taking a cross-the-world trip is to definitely do that. Just push yourself to your utmost limit, and then right before you, pass out, take a sleeping pill, whatever you use, not to put you to sleep, to keep you asleep.
Yeah.
And that's a big old recommendation. I fly back and forth between Japan and the States enough to have learned this lesson.
I do have to say, though, whoever set up the shades and the covering for the windows in our hotel did a fantastic job.
Oh.
Because
not a bit of light.
Not a bit of light. I did not wake up until about 7 o'clock in the morning and then was like, oh, it looks really cloudy outside. I wonder what's going on. And then my reaction was that of a vampire seeing sun for the first time. It's like... Drew up the blinds and it just hit me right in the face.
So speaking of vampires, we are in Shinjuku right now. Shinjuku is the most an anime can be real. Because everybody looks like the people that want to dress like them at a con. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I said that sentence right. Hopefully it's getting across. Thank you for putting up with me, dear listener. I'm so sorry. We need to move on from that, though, because there was a Nintendo Direct this week.
Yes.
And it slapped.
Absolutely.
I was not expecting nothing about it. I was expecting them just to talk about, video games. Well, that's the dumbest thing I ever said.
The Direct came out when you were actually flying and in the air, so...
I was sitting in my seat, twitching my butt around, thinking about what Xenoblade possibilities there could be, because Soraya Saga retweeted the Nintendo Direct, and so I was like... something Xenoblade's coming. Is it a port of Cross? Is it a remake of 1? Is it a new entry? Is it a brand new Monolith Soft anything?
You know, I have to be honest. I knew you were going to be in the air when the Direct was coming around.
Mm-hmm.
I was incredibly tempted to just blast you with false tweets and false updates during the entire time.
Galen, a blaster for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He blasts falsitudes and fallacies.
All of the fallacies.
What would you have blasted me with? Hit me with your best blast.
My best one is the Terry announcement as a Smash Bros. Character. I was just gonna say
Spoilers?
Well, yeah. Well, we'll get to it. I think if they're listening to it at this point, they probably already know.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I definitely wanted to just add, hey, Terry Crews is now a playable character.
I honestly, if I had received that from you, I would have been like, this idiot doesn't even know what SNK is, does not even know what Garo Densetsu Fatal Fury is, and he wrote Terry Crews instead of Terry Bogard.
Well, let's not, rule that out just yet.
Let's not call a spade, alright? I'm about to blast you with some information because we're going to talk about the Nintendo Direct.
Yes.
We're going to go through it. Holy crap, so much stuff in here that I can't believe exists. Starting it off, right away, we got confirmation Overwatch coming to the Switch. With not real gameplay in that trailer, wasn't there? It wasn't real gameplay, right?
There was some real gameplay, but it was that very structured, planned out, moving around, and just making it look as exciting and enticing as possible.
Well, that is an exciting game for sure. There's a lot of
Absolutely.
excitement.
I mean, there's a reason why Overwatch is as popular as it is, and why the fact that it came out, 2017, 2000...
Yeah, maybe 16 even.
Yeah, I want to say that. But there's a reason that a game that old has is having an announcement on a new console, and it's still big news.
Yeah.
It is also interesting that the leaks and the hypothesizing that we had last week,
the fallacies,
also came through.
I know. Well, that was the thing, is we were on top of it last week. We already talked about it, and then here it comes. Like a diva.
Yeah. Nice. I see what you did there.
Honestly, it didn't make any sense. I've played Overwatch a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's not for me. It is a fun game. I'm just not into PvP first-person shooters.
Yeah.
If it was third-person, online, and player versus enemy, like AI... If it were Splatoon. If it were just Splatoon, the salmon run thing...
Yeah.
I should play Splatoon. I haven't played that in a minute.
Yeah?
That mode is so much fun. Anyway, if there was that, that's what I would do.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a favorite Overwatch? Or, I'm cutting you off. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. What was the question?
Do you have a favorite Overwatch character?
Not really, because I have not played Overwatch before.
Even though you own a PS4 and they do those free weekends
They
sometimes.
do it every once in a while. Traditionally, I am not that big into PvP FPS. I'm kind of in the same boat as you are.
Really?
Which is weird
because you play Destiner.
Yeah, Destiny, Borderlands, those kind of games are right up my alley.
Yeah.
But what I like about those games is more of the RPG elements of it, more of the having the the enemies and the NPCs to be able to play up against and have much more predictable patterns.
You like your numbers to grow big.
I like my numbers to grow big. That fallacy. And I also like to I feel like in those kind of games, it steps away from more being a test of skill and more of a puzzle that you're trying to actually fit.
It becomes it's honestly, Destiny is the Animal Crossing of Shlooters. Because...
that is a fantastic way to think about it.
It is. Let me explain it if you're on the cusp of understanding.
No, that makes so much sense, actually.
Because you'll be playing Animal Crossing, and then you'll be like, oh, I'm chopping down this tree because I gotta get wood so I can turn it into this material so I can make a new shirt. And then your friend who's watching you play is like, oh, but I like the shirt that you're wearing right now. You don't like it? You're like, no, I do, but I need to get a different shirt. I need to make a better shirt.
Yeah.
That's Destiny. That's Shlooters. That's Borderlands. That's Animal Crossing. It's the same gameplay loop.
That's actually...
It's exactly that!
Yeah, no, 100% it is. I have never thought about that before.
Overwatch also has similarities with that, with all of the shlooting, what's that called?
Yeah.
Cosmetics.
Yeah. So, although with them, it's more of the actual PvP element. So you are going up, and there's more frustration that actually adds itself to that. Because
I don't think anyone who plays that game is toxic or frustrated. What are you talking about?
It's the perfect, peaceful atmosphere.
Never use voice chat when you play that game with randos. Wow, is it just absolute toxicity. So you can enjoy this toxicity coming to Nintendo Switch October 15th.
Yep.
But also in October is Luigi Mansion. Luigi's Mansion 3.
I'm very excited to get my Luigi on.
A sentence I never needed to hear from him. We got announcements of Tomb Suites, Disco Floors, not Disco Store. Disco Stores would be a great addition to Luigi.
Would it be a store that sells discos, or just like...
No, it would be a disco store with balls. Follow me on this. That spin around.
Okay.
Like a disco ball, if you have it.
Okay.
It would sell Saturday Night Fever clothing with John Travolta and Fran Drescher in the roles of Luigi and Guigi.
Okay, you're starting to sell me on this now.
I'm selling myself on this. Fran Drescher is Professor Egad.
Not the Flood system?
Flood?
Or not Flood. What's the other one?
What a fake gamer! What a fake gamer!
To be fair, they're made by the same person.
No. Green Mario has a different vacuum on his back. Anyway, there's 2 to 8 player Scream Park feature in this.
That was kind of interesting that they're going up to not only a team-based element to it, but they're also going up to 8 people can play this game at a time.
Yeah, that's like weird and kind of doesn't fit like what that game is, but I'm all for it, even if I won't play this mode too much, because wow, is that a brand new addition that you didn't expect for this game?
Yeah,
good job. That's how you grow. That's how you do a third game.
And exactly that, it's great growth to have in the series itself.
So it's great that you're 4v4. You're Luigi's versus Guigi's. It's a race war out there in Luigi's Mansion.
They did also mention that they could tweak it a little bit. So if you don't have 8 people to all play at the same time, but you have like 4 or 3 even, you can do like a 2-on-1 or something like that. And it's more of timing yourself as to how many ghosts you can get versus like an actual, like you are fighting the other team.
Yeah.
So
I'm interested in this for sure. I think they only mentioned that it was local co-op. They didn't mention anything about online co-op, did they? This isn't an online mode, right?
I don't remember, actually, now that I'm thinking about it.
Press F in the chat and send us an email if we're just idiots about this. I hope that this is an online mode because that would be fun.
Yeah.
And plus, they really want to push Nintendo Switch Online, right?
Exactly.
So, add online elements to lots of your games. Sure, why not?
So, Oni,
Give us dedicated servers. Yes.
Are we going to be seeing a Gay Married episode on Luigi's Mansion 3?
You might be. I'm spinning too many plates in my life right now. You see me right now in my face.
Picari sweat in hand.
Pocari sweat in face, shove it down my gullet. I'm doing too much. I'm doing too much in my life. But yes, I'll be Luigi all over Cliff as Luigi. That is getting cut out of the podcast. This is not what I meant to say at all. Wow, that was gross.
Mature podcast, everybody.
No, we can't. Yes, you'll be seeing a Game Married episode at some point of this. Jesus. I'm really hyped for that game. After I played that at E3, I was like, this moved all the way up to like top tier of my list of game I'm excited for on this game.
Do you think that we're going to see another demonstration at the Tokyo Game Show, and do you think that you will try to get your hands on it again?
God, I don't know, because Nintendo themselves are usually not at Tokyo Game Show. I think the last time that they actually had a presence there was when they unveiled the Wiimote.
Okay.
And so I don't know if their games are going to be there, being demoed through a third party or what. I don't know. Yeah. This is my first experience. Oh my god. I can't say anything right now, but I have so many great plans for Tokyo Game Show, and I'm making these really interesting scheduling things going on right now. I have a lot of really great stuff planned for you lovely listeners, so, do stay around. Do stay around. That said, we should probably mention right now, I don't think there's going to be a podcast episode next week. I'm so sorry.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that Tokyo Game Show is the 12th through the 15th or something like that.
Something, yeah.
It's hard to remember what those days are, but that's basically the before the weekend and the weekend, which is when we shoot and record, edit, all that stuff. It's just too busy of a time. Plus, all of the post and pre-coverage stuff. My appointments are spilling over pre and post event too, so it's becoming like an entire week for me right now.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry that we're probably not gonna have a podcast episode.
Maybe we'll come up with like a much shorter episode just to like catch up later in the week.
Do not promise this! I just told you I'm spinning too many plates, and then here you are, you're like, can I put some grapes on this plate for you? To feed someone else for? These are not the correct words. My English gets so bad when I'm in Tokyo. Anyway, regardless, we'll have lots of fantastic content for you the following week.
Yes.
Definitely a long episode that week.
Absolutely.
So please do stick around. Please understand, and thank you for your support on that. Moving on over, we got, out of nowhere, Kirby Clash on the Nintendo Switch. This is a free-to-start game. This reminds me pretty much exactly of the 3DS game. Did you ever play that one? That was the free-to-start one with the microtransactions in it?
No, I didn't get a chance to play that one.
I played all of that. It was really good, but it's a microtransaction game, so, my heart's split on that. I'm of two minds on it. But this is a 4-player online game. There's going to be jobs for character customization. It's going to also support local couch co-op, online co-op, and it's out now. Shadow drop, shoot, people blast you.
Yeah.
Did you download this yet?
I did. I downloaded it. I didn't get a chance to play it because, as soon as I was able to download it, I had to jump directly onto a. Did you have a sneeze?
No.
Okay.
No. That face was me forgetting entirely about the adventure log. I'm so sorry, everyone. Go on.
Yeah, as soon as it downloaded, I had to jump directly onto a plane to come here, and I don't get Wi-Fi when I am flying above, I think Alaska is what I flew over.
Oh.
So, yeah. Haven't got a chance to get my hands on that. I am willing to give it a try, though, even though it is kind of like free to start is what I think they technically called it.
Yeah, it's got microtransactions in it, like the 3DS one for sure. You can play that whole game without spending microtransactions, but you have to, wait for your hearts to replenish or whatever. It's the same structure.
Yeah, and it's mostly the Kirby boss rush mode. Correct?
Yeah, it's a boss rush, and you combine different powers, you combine different jobs. Kirby is a job system. Give me a RPG Kirby with the job system like Final Fantasy Tactics, please. Mm-hmm. Oh my god, that'd be so exciting. Anyway, that's what it is, but it's got the solid action of modern Kirby games.
So what is your take on this? And are you excited for it?
Yeah, totally. I played all that 3DS one, so I'm doing this one too. Mm-hmm. Anybody want to play with me, play some Kirby Curb on the online, send us an email or tweet at me, and then I'll give you the friend code.
Codes.
Yeah, and then we'll play online. I had some people message me on Dragon's Dogma, and we shared pawns together. Take that as you will.
This is a little off topic, but when I was shopping around Tokyo this morning,
yes.
I came across this little store that had it's the charger clips or whatever they are, but they're like the different characters that go onto the end of it, and they make it look like they're eating your phone when you plug it in.
Oh, cool!
But they had a bunch of Dragon Ball Z ones, and it was you can have Majin Buu eating
perfect.
your phone.
That's the most perfect it's ever been.
I want to find you a Kirby one, and I want to get you that as a gift.
Please find me that. I'm sorry, that's picking up on the mic that I'm shaking everything. Please find me that.
If I find it, I will get that for you as a gift.
I got one of those for my cat Boo, and a hat.
It's a Kirby hat?
So it looks like Kirby has already eaten Boo. And her face is trying to escape from his mouth. Honestly terrifying when I'm talking about it like this. But give me Kirby everything.
Yes.
I love Kirby so much. Oh, I can't wait to take you guys to Kittyland. That's where there's a whole bunch of really good stuff there too. Oh, we're gonna have some fun. Check out the Twitter and the Instagrams for both of us. We're both going to be social mediaing the crap out of this.
Definitely.
Then we got some more information on Trials of Mana, the remake. There's party choices, which we confirmed, and we broke this in a story that we did back during E3. It showed the full range of movement and combat. It showed that there is I don't know, it's not a job system, it's more like changing paths. At certain points in the game story, if you've not played the original game, you have to choose, okay, do I choose the light path or the dark path? In terms of, like, battle and character progression, character stats, spells that you learn, how you look different. There's 2 points in the game. So you can choose light, dark, dark light, and so on and so forth. And all of those are totally different. It's a really unique way of doing things.
And I like the color palette changes that they had in the characters.
Me
with what
too.
They showed,
So hopefully it's not only the color palette, but also some visual flair on like those final ones. That would be great.
Yeah, I'm getting more excited as they're showing more stuff for this.
I can't believe where we are currently in video games that all of these things exist that I never thought would exist. The only thing that's left for me in my life that needs to exist that I never thought would is a proper Mario RPG again.
That was going to be one of the things that I would tweet you on the plane. I was just going to be like, Mario RPG 2 confirmed, sent.
Do you hate me? That would be so cruel. Honestly, that would be so cruel. That would be. And then also another game in the Chrono series. Those are the only 2 things that need to happen. Anyway, Trials of Mana remake coming out April 24th of 2020. Oddly specific, rather than just being like spring or even just April.
Yeah.
But April 24th, 2020.
I mean, if they have the date, why not send it out? So
Yeah. And honestly, it's looking so solid already. The gameplay demos that I was getting before at E3 looking really solid. We'll definitely be getting some footage of the newest build at TGS as well.
Good.
So I'll be giving you guys lots of impressions on that.
very good.
Oh, so good. Then we got gameplay and confirmation on Return of the Obra Dinn coming to Nintendo Switch. I've heard about this game.
Yeah, and I feel like this is the second time we've seen it specifically in a Nintendo Direct.
Oh, have we?
I could have sworn that we saw that this was like something that I talked about earlier.
Interesting.
Like, maybe it was in one of the smaller ones, like one of the Nindy Directs or something.
Okay.
But this was definitely not the first time that I had seen this trailer.
Alright, so my thought was, like, I probably heard this in passing or heard somebody talking about this for, like, PS4 or whatever, but I knew it was something that I had to keep my eye on because it was, like, a puzzle game or, like, a mystery narrative or something like that, and that's what it is. So it's got this great visual aesthetic. It's a very, like, monochromatic, like, dot, almost like dot art.
Yeah.
And
it's very unique art or animation style.
It's got a time travel mechanic with the use of your pocket watch, where you explore the ship that you are on. It's set in the time of the East India Company, and you're exploring the ship. You're trying to unravel a mystery. It sounds right up my alley.
You're sent to, I believe, reading about this, you are like sent by the actual East Indian Company to explore this ship and what happened to the shipment from an insurance standpoint, and then you need to try to figure out what exactly happened in the mystery of like what happened to this ghost ship essentially. And it reminds me a lot of, I'm gonna say, Phoenix Wright combined with Myst.
Oh yeah, Myst, for sure.
Like that is definitely the kind of tone that I was getting when I was watching this.
Wow, yeah, that's another blast. This you're doing nothing but blasting me right now. The Myst is Stephen King novel. Myst.
Yeah, the game.
Yeah, the game.
Not the Stephen King
the
novel.
old PC game. The old PC game, yeah, that was something. So I'm really looking forward to this one and intrigued to hear a little bit more.
I'm very intrigued to see like what becomes of this.
Yeah,
so.
and I don't think it's a full-on game. I think it's, a smaller title, so maybe a $30 title or something like that. That's great. That's fine. I don't need everything to be a 60-hour adventure. Give me 10-hour adventures.
Exactly.
Give me $30 games and $40 games. That's what I want. Speaking of which, maybe? Little Town Hero, which is Town.
Yeah.
Also, October 16th? Why?
Right?
Why are you doing that? Give that to January.
Ugh,
There's
I've
too
had so many
games.
questions about this game still. Why is it like right around the corner?
Yeah. And this is just the Ralph Wiggum inverse of stop, he's already dead, Stop, he's already living. And it's about the Switch, because there's too many things happening for this Nintendo right now.
Yeah.
Is this Christmas again? Before the Christmas? The Christmasing?
I was already
Christmarection? That sounds really painful. Go on.
I was already super excited about this game, but then they came out with the fact that all the music is actually done by Toby Fox. And
yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of 12-year-olds really excited about that.
I'm sorry. I have personally never played Undertale before. I know how great that game is. I haven't experienced it myself, but I appreciate the music so much. I have
Undertale.
I have heard so many covers. I use it as the music that I actually get pumped up to sometimes.
For your D&D campaigns? Yes, it is.
I'm not
it is.
To deny
I can see the disappointment in your face. What a nerd, ladies and gentlemen. No, I'm kidding. I love your hobbies.
Thanks, Mom.
So supportive.
No, but I'm even more excited at this game now because I now know the music's probably going to be awesome.
I just love the turn-based action where it's like, okay, use an idea, and that's how you're counteracting a monster.
We should probably elaborate a little bit more on that. So,
no, you. Well, why'd you point at me?
I was like,
talk.
No, you elaborate on the battle system.
I don't know. I don't know about the battle
it.
system.
Yeah, it's like it's turn-based, but you're not exactly like, I'm going to attack you. You have to use ideas of what you want to do when you're actually facing against them. So one of the examples, it's instead of just regular attacking, you want to throw a fist, and that's you punching the enemy. So I see a lot of potential and a lot of unique ways to approach combat going into it.
Yeah. It's really interesting because there's numbers with it too, so it's like a very light math puzzle kind of game adventure.
I don't think this is going to be your standard like turn-based RPG and just call it done.
Absolutely. This battle system is going to be one to watch about.
Yeah.
Watch about? Jesus, my English.
For?
Thank you. Thank you. Anyway, your protagonist's name? Do you remember his name?
Axe?
Yeah, that's a good name.
I like that.
That's an 80s action film name. Your protagonist, Dolph Lundgren. Wait, no, played by Dolph Lundgren. His name is Axe. His name isn't Dolph Lundgren. I don't know where I'm going with that.
You'll get there eventually, Mom.
Anyway, I don't know if this is a full-on game. We don't have confirmation on price yet, do we? Because my thought is, if you're in this town, and like that's all that it is, well, then this is probably a smaller game, and they're probably going to be charging less for it. Is it a $40 game or a $50 game, maybe?
I'm not entirely sure myself, but I don't think that limiting...
Oh, wait, no, we know for sure. I'm so sorry to interrupt you.
Okay.
We do know for sure because it's ready for pre-purchase today, and it comes out October 16th.
Oh, well, there you go.
What's the price? Someone
pull up your
email.
Switch.
No, my Switch is not connected to the Wi-Fi. Somebody email into us, I turned into Rick and Morty, about what is this price.
What was I saying?
You gotta remember what you were saying, Morty. You put your members in your face. Put your members in your face and turn them into ideal ones.
I don't think that we should take the fact that this...
I should have done that. That was really my voice. Oh, how does the voice actor do that? Go on.
I don't think that we should take the fact that this game is limited to a single town to be a factor into considering the length or the quantity of things you can do in the game.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Because a lot of it is also going to be like using all of the people in the town to help you fight the monsters that are actually coming around. So if they want to not exactly like take the Fire Emblem approach and make every single person interesting and have a detailed backstory, but having the characters more, or giving the characters more personality and the townsfolk more personality, so it's something that you can actually use and plan on and things. Like I am very interested in this game.
Yeah.
I'm glad that it's coming out so soon. Maybe a little too soon considering what else is coming out, but
I'm not gonna play it just yet. You know what I mean? Like, this makes me concerned because it's coming out in such a crowded time. It's a new IP. You want it to succeed, right? But I'm gonna do my best to make that thing succeed.
yeah.
By purchasing it.
For the price that we have no idea.
There's a small town out there with a big secret.
You are ruining this.
We'll look this up later.
Someone will email in. We're doing a call to action here. Speaking of call to action, that was a terrible segue. Banjo Kazooie released,
Yes.
right? The day of the direct.
I feel I'm actually not as surprised about this.
I am. Think about this. When was E3? Is that June, July?
Yes, June.
June. Okay,
Yes.
in the span of 3 months, we got 3 DLC character reveals, 2 releases of actual characters to play. In the span of 3 months.
Yeah.
This is surprising. I thought that Banjo-Kazooie was going to be a, fall into winter kind of release. Like, maybe November.
Well, and they probably have been working on these characters for far longer than the actual announcements.
They had to have been.
Yeah.
Had to have been.
Yeah. Like, and they've already talked about, like, in the actual announcement, they said that they have more DLC characters planned beyond the first 5, which I'm not surprised by at all.
I lost it when I saw that. I was watching this with my friend, the whole direct, and they revealed who the new character is, which we'll talk about in a second. And then I was like, oh, awesome. And then I turned to my friend and I was like, they should just release more characters, because they already showed that they released 4 and there was only 1 more to be revealed.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is too successful. Like, the conversation about who's going to be in Smash, who could be in Smash, is a never-ending conversation that you have all the time. It's the exact same stuff that you say every time, but it's just as exciting when you have that conversation, like an Alzheimer's patient talking about it. And then, as soon as I finished my sentence about that, my friends who already knew that they were going to announce new DLC characters were like biting their lip, looking at me like, what is going to happen that he's saying this? They announced that on the screen, and I threw my head back and cackled. I can believe it. It's smart. It just makes too much money. It makes too much sense. The conversation of it, keeping that conversation going in the first place is worth the price of doing this, because it just takes over the internet.
Well, and they knew this from the very beginning, because if you remember when they were talking about it, it's always been, hey, pay the like $25 for the season pass or season fighter pass 1. Like, that 1 has always been present ever since the beginning when they first announced this.
Oh, was it?
Yep. And that's why when they were like, hey, we're going to have more characters, I just deadpan face. I was like, okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Did this just zoom right over my head?
I don't think that's the case. I think it's more of a thing of, it's been such a long time since they called it that, and they've been focusing so much on about the individual releases as opposed to the entire season pack as a whole.
Okay.
That I think a lot of people kind of forgot about it.
Okay.
So, and I'm really glad that they are doing more characters. Like, you're 100% on the money with this. And I would love to see them do more contests as well, as like, what popular characters would you guys like to do? I'm still, you know what, I'm still waiting for them to embrace the absurdity and finally bring like some cross promotion and bring Goku in. like, it's so bizarre. But
We're
it's
not
such
having
a
this
bad
conversation again. There's so much to talk about this week. Anyway, I'm interested to see, though, like, is there going to be, like, a bit of a theme? Because there's a light theme with this character pack. And it's that it's pretty much third-party characters only. We'll talk about it later. There's too much to talk about.
What I would like to talk about is I did get some hands-on time on the plane with Banjo-Kazooie.
Tell me about Bird and Bear.
So, I feel like this is one of the more simpler characters that they have come out with this DLC pack.
That's refreshing.
Yes. You don't have the menu system from Hero. You don't have the ongoing gauge that is the
Persona.
Persona.
Oh my god, you were looking at me like, help me with this word. What a fake gamer.
For Joker. That was the name that I was thinking of. But yeah, with him, it is very... You can kind of feel that in the playstyle as well. He is no thrills. You could... he's there to bash things and poop grenades. And the pooping the grenades is my favorite ability that he has.
I of course, haven't played him. I haven't turned on my Switch since I got in Japan. It was sacrilege, I know. But I will be getting some hands on this later on for sure. I love Banjo and Kazooie so much. I want the Banjo-Kazooie collection games, the rare replay games, to come over to Nintendo Switch.
Absolutely.
I hope that Microsoft and Nintendo are working on that. However, now with the release of Banjo and Kazooie, I'm not hopeful for it. I would have thought that they would have released that around the time of the character, and thinking that the character was coming out months from now. So, I don't know.
Hey, Sakurai did get Xbox trending, so...
Phil Spencer can't get Xbox to trend. Leave it to ex-Nintendo employee Sakurai to get them to trend. Wow.
It's just throwing him a Jinjo there and just be like, yeah.
No, you should have said he threw it. That was alright. You should have said he just threw him a puzzle piece.
Threw him a Jiggy.
Threw him a Jiggy, there we go. Wow, who's the fake gamer now?
Going back to Smash Bros, though, I will say that I went through not only their the Spirit Board characters that they come out with, all the DLC characters, completed all that. I felt like it was the easiest one that I've done. Like, the Persona one was hard.
Yeah.
And the very last one for the Dragon Quest one was incredibly difficult.
Okay.
This one, no. It was very easy, very kind of straightforward.
Huh.
I think the last one, when you're fighting... Oh, I'm kicking myself and showing how fake of a gamer I am. Gruntilda?
You're correct, but
Okay.
also...
You're giving me super
hate
squinty.
you. We
that-
both have squinty eyes. What are we going to do? Have a squint off on this?
It would just be us with eyes closed. That's it. Yeah, it's a gigantic... I can't remember what character they actually use for, like, Gruntilda. But they also have a bunch of, like, Dr. Marios that are there. And it's a stamina battle. And all you do is... You just go and say, hey, I want to make all of the minions super weak, and you can just take care of the Dr. Marios, no problem, and then just pepper the enemy away. It's like a super easy spirit to get through, compared to like the Dragon Quest one, where it was this endurance match where you had to fight like 8 or 9 different characters, while also it being stamina until you get to the very last one. So, and I played as Banjo-Kazooie this entire time, even though you can select multiple characters. Yeah. He seemed to handle all of the challenges very well when I was playing it. I did also do his classic mode, which there was nothing really special on that one. I had a hard time kind of figuring out what the theme was, so the characters that they had representing your challenges going forward.
Well, you don't even remember Gruntilda's name, so I don't expect you to understand the complexities of the narrative of Banjo-Kazooie.
I will say that the final boss in that one is also Crazy Hand and Master Hand. So I didn't know if the theme was going to be like N64 era as a reference.
Sure,
like,
whatever.
I'm trying to piece together as to, what this actually was. I did get my highest score in all of Classic Mode with him, though. And I think I ended with like a 9.6 as far as the challenge
Oh,
rating.
cool.
So,
yeah. I need to start playing that game more.
It's so much the game, you kind of forget about how...
There's so much of the game.
Mhm.
It's a big old sandwich. It's a torta.
Yeah, we're gonna end on that one.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna end on. Good God. And then moving on, the new reveal of the new character. You should stick around for the new character, and you should stick around because apparently so many people don't know what SNK is. I did not know about this until very recently on the Twitter with lots of people with the outrage. Eat it. I am so excited that the new character revealed is Terry Bogard.
Not Terry Crews.
Terry Bogard is going to be in Smash, and yes, representing one of the best fighting franchises that started off in the 90s.
Mm-hmm. I do want to say, before we get too far into it, I do believe this kind of parrots the Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS DLC, because I think that the fourth DLC character in that time was Ryu.
Okay.
So it's interesting to see that they're bringing another fighting game character
Yeah.
as a DLC character.
I want fighting game reps for every major franchise on Super Nintendo. Super Nintendo? Super Smash Bros. Sorry, I'm thinking about the Super Nintendo with
that's
Fatal
later.
Fury.
That's later.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, and that's later too. A lot of twists. Got to keep up. I am very happy that it's Terry Bogard because they were going through a bunch of different characters in SNK's history, and as soon as Nakaruru
I thought that was
came,
brilliant.
Yeah.
All the fake outs
I
of,
loved
is
it.
this character coming? No. Is this character coming? No. Ha ha! A little a little bird coming through.
Yeah, Nakaruru's
Yeah.
hawk. As soon as it got to her, like, because I was talking to my friends and I was like, oh, is it gonna be this one? Oh, is it Iori? Oh, damn, no, it's not. As soon as Nakaruru came on the screen, I was like, oh god, no. Oh, god, let that bitch miss it. Let it miss it. Oh, good, go away. I don't like Nakaruru. She's like the worst character. Her best trait is that she has a hawk. That means that the hawk is cooler than her.
Yeah.
And she's got a sister Rimmerubru too, and that's her basic name, yes. It's terrible. Awful. Teddy Bolgado coming to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, not the Super Nintendo. I can't believe people are upset about that too. It's great. It's wonderful. I live in these regressive tears from idiots on Twitter.
Yeah.
Like, I bathe in it. Moisturizes my soul.
I will admit that this announcement did kind of miss on me personally, but that's because I have gone on record of not being that big into fighting games.
And you're a filthy Westerner, right?
Yeah.
And then, moving on, there was Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. They shut off more of the chamber dungeons. Sure, whatever, okay.
Nothing really new on
It's
this
a Zelda game. They're kind of resting on their laurels with some of the promotion for this, but
Yeah.
that's fine. It's looking good.
You know what? It's super exciting. I'll be playing it eventually. You know what? It comes out September 20th, but
Yeah.
sad for the game because I'm going to play Untitled Goose Game.
There's so many other games that I want to play instead of this one, honestly.
Like Untitled Goose Game.
Can't wait for that game. I'm so honkin' excited. And then they went on to Dragon Quest XI S, Echoes of an Elusive Age Definitive Edition, too many words in that title, and Font's free DLC on the day of release, which we already knew. That's been up for download like for a good week now at least.
I feel like they have been advertising for this game basically
For a long time.
all year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, I think that was one of the things with the agreement with Square and Nintendo, is that Nintendo was going to be like, no, we're making Dragon Quest succeed in the West this time. You know what I mean? They've been doing a killer job of it. Like, Nintendo's been doing better in general with promotion on their games, still slipping in certain ways. I don't think that they marketed Astral Chain super clearly to people, but a lot of times they're doing really well, and this is one of their highlights for sure.
Yeah, most definitely.
So we already knew that there was DLC and everything. Weirdly, the DLC, I'm pretty sure it's the same contents in Japan, is paid DLC.
Really?
Yeah, so like you can get the gorgeous version or whatever it's called in Japan. It's like the equivalent of like maybe 80 or 90 US dollars.
Okay.
Meanwhile, the American one on the eShop is $60 US with all of the stuff in there.
Maybe they really are just trying to push for that, Western success.
Yeah. So to any of our listeners in Japan, I would recommend you just buy the game on the eShop, the American version, rather than the one in Japan. Because save you a good $30.
Yeah, seriously.
And then, Return of the Kawashitai Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE Encore coming to Nintendo Switch.
I am so glad that this is coming back and making a remake.
I love this game. It is pure anime, fermented trash, set in the J-pop world of Tokyo. This is the most AVEX anime crap ever. I love this game. I love the battle system and the session system that they do. If you did not play this game on the Wii U, you must play it on the Switch. This game has such high production value, it deserves it. Galen's waving his hand.
Oh, I'm just saying that actually is me.
That is you. You and a million other
people.
people. This game came out at the end of the Wii U's life when it was dead, for sure.
And it's interesting because I actually told my wife about this game and the description of it, and she said that, it would be fantastic and she would love to play it.
You too should play this game, for sure, because it's so stupid. It's great. The battle system is so much fun. If you love, Power Rangers and exciting action, things like that. I feel like we talked about something like this on the podcast, last week or something like that. Just something that's, Power Rangers-esque in terms of just flamboyance, visual flair stuff.
Okay.
Wow, this game is it. Just thinking about it, I'm actually getting goosebumps, thinking about the game. That's how much I love it. I'm playing this on Game Married, absolutely. It is LP Poison for sure, but whatever. I don't care. This is for me. Absolutely for me.
I'm definitely going to be giving this game a try. A rent at the very least, more than anything. But I'm very excited about this.
Do not disappoint me on this. You're buying this immediately. I'll buy it for you.
Okay.
I reject that, actually.
Nope, it's already on there.
Alright, I'm stealing $60 from your wallet tonight.
Fair enough.
So, what we did here for the Switch version is that there are going to be new features. They didn't really detail a whole lot of it. However, what we did see, because I'm a freak for this, is there are playable characters, because they showed the session lineup when you're doing the session attacks. This is only going to make sense to the people that have played it. But your producer and the owner of your entertainment company that you work for, she is now a playable battle character, and she is one of the best characters in that game. She's constantly drunk. She used to be a gravure model before, a sexy photo book thing. She's constantly... One of your main quests that you have early on in the game is you have to get her hangover medication, because she showed up to work drunk. And but she's doing it though for the company, because she goes out drinking for the nominication for Japanese people who speak Japanese, the drinking communication, which is so intrinsic to Japanese, society. So there's that. She's wonderful. There's also Barry Goodman, who is so awesome. Barry Goodman. He's an otaku, based loosely on that one guy from Megadeth, Freddie. I want to say his name. I forgot his name. But he's basically just a Westerner who loves Japan, used to be a musician for a huge band, and now, trains singers. And this guy from Megadeth, I wish I could remember his name.
I just want to start using that, who's saying that voice and that accent now.
That's all he does in the game. It's wonderful.
Very good, man.
Yeah, so he speaks... It's a Japanese person doing his voice. But he speaks super screwed up and with, weird pronunciation.
Yeah.
So he'll be like, "No! Tsubasa! Yatemasen!" So it's Japanese, but he's saying it you get it? And once in a while...
That's actually really impressive.
It is.
From a voice acting standpoint, too.
Yeah.
Being able to, emulate that in the right way.
The majority of these characters are written really well and fleshed out really well. Nice. I would say that the main characters are kind of, tropey.
Okay.
But the other characters, whilst being tropes, are really well fleshed out. Highly recommend this game, my god. Oh, also Tiki. She is also a playable battle character.
Okay.
Very excited for that. They're just adding a bunch of characters in. Oh, and there's a new song. There's a new J-pop song for me to dance and sing.
You can listen to that in your disco room.
Yeah, with all the balls. This game comes out January 17th, 2020, with pre-purchase available today. Kind of strange considering it's like 4 months away. 3 months away. Whatever.
You know what? It's not in October, so
Yeah,
I'm going to
totally
be
fine with it, right?
grateful.
That's okay. Totally okay. But that just means I have to resist buying it for 4 months? I don't know.
There you go.
I kind of want it just so I can look at the icon on my screen. That's the dumbest thing. Don't be like me.
You're okay.
I love it so much. It's my favorite Wii U game.
Yeah, but I mean, buying it now versus buying it later, I mean, you know you're going to buy the game and you already know what the gameplay is like.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're pre-ordering something that is a complete mystery. It's not like you're pre-ordering a brand new game. It's a remake, so you know what your money is going to.
A waste, because I already have the game on the Wii U.
Did you hear that this game has a brand new J-pop song you can dance to?
Buying it! Also a complete mystery, Deadly Premonition 2.
See, that was a good segue.
Wow, was this unexpected? People who are huge fans of Swery's games they've been just hoping for Deadly Premonition 2. And they're like, he doesn't have the resources, you know, that game was a mystery that it even came out in the first place, the first Deadly Premonition. It's a bad game with great character writing and great stilted weirdness, like Twin Peaks love everywhere.
Yeah.
It only resonated with a certain crowd of people. Everyone else hated it. Deadly Premonition 2 is not happening. Lo and behold, it's happening!
It is happening.
And the first game, a terrible game, available on the Switch today. So weird. I'm so glad that this game exists.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. And it looks bad. It looks like shit. The character models and everything. That's part of the charm. It is. It's the Shenmue of terrible. Which Shenmue
you know what? That
already
makes
is
a lot
terrible.
of sense, actually. Yeah.
So if you don't know what this game is, look into it. It's not for the gameplay. The gameplay is bad. Honestly, it would be better if there wasn't like shooting in it and everything like that. It's about the characters and the weird stilted stuff and eating a can of waking up, eating 8 cans of pickles, going back to bed. That's what this game is about. While a poorly mixed music track of whistles plays over you talking to an old lady across a huge table that is miles long, and you're having a one-on-one conversation with them like they're standing across from each other. It's the most awkward, strange stuff. It's so surreal. You have to look into it.
I want to look into it. I need to look into it more.
And then we're gonna run through a couple more things from here on out. We got Divinity Original Sin 2 Definitive Edition coming to Switch. Top-down Western RPGs like this are perfect fit for the Switch. Just because
absolutely.
You spend so much time doing it, and especially if they integrate, touch screen interface into it.
Give me all of my RPGs I can just carry around with me.
So, all those Baldur's Gate games are coming to the Switch. Titan Quest, a whole bunch of other games like that. This game also, this is basically the best Baldur's Gate game that isn't Baldur's Gate. And then the people who wrote this game, it's a critically acclaimed game for sure.
Oh yeah, it's been out for a while.
Yeah. They're writing the new Baldur's Gate as well.
Good.
So, like, it couldn't be any better in video games right now. This is the best it's ever been for video games. I'm so happy. So that's coming. Cloud saves between the Switch and Steam do transfer. That's amazing.
That's awesome.
That's going to get so many people who played a bajillion hours on the Steam version to pick up the Switch version.
Oh, absolutely. And just the fact that we're at a point where that can be a thing.
I know.
That is super impressive to be able to. It gives you so much freedom as to playing it wherever, however.
And it's available right now. It is. Yay. My husband is going to be a little bit crazy about this because we just bought the game for PS4 just like a week ago.
That's funny.
Yeah. Then moving on, Doom 64, November 22nd on the Switch. I thought this game already came out, but I guess it didn't.
The Doom 64, I believe that they had the original and the sequel.
Yeah.
For like the old PC that had come out, and now they're just like going down the line because
Right.
25th anniversary of Doom, and
Sure.
that means people have to do something about that.
I love how Bethesda acts like they made it, acts like it's part of their legacy. No, you purchased id Software who made this, and who revolutionized the first-person shooter. You didn't do that, Bethesda, but they are so just sticking their head between their butt cheeks and smelling their own farts.
Oh, who's the guy who came out? It wasn't Todd Howard. Who was the...
I don't know. It was...
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
I don't know.
I
don't know. Anyway, that's coming out. We'll see how this port stacks up. The UI, not changed at all, even the aspect ratio, so
Yeah.
I'm like, hope you put a little more effort into this port than what I'm seeing.
So I have to say, honestly, when they were, because I watched this with my wife, and when they were talking about it, and they were like, well, several people remember all the hours they put playing into a little particular game on the N64, and my wife honestly just went, GoldenEye?
Yeah. Was that game any good, that remake that they made for the Wii of GoldenEye?
No.
Oh, that's a shame. And then something after that, Rogue Company? What is this, Galen?
Yeah, it looks like it's a squad-based, like a high-paced action game.
No wonder I forgot it immediately. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
I actually think that this is kind of a good thing that something like this is coming to the system, because the Switch doesn't have a lot of these kind of games.
Yeah.
And it really does.
It won't get lost in the sea.
Exactly. It'll open up an avenue for a lot of people who want to play these kind of games. Now the Switch is now an option to be able to do that with.
Yeah, so it's a bit like Fortnite, right?
Kind of.
So
I mean,
it
doesn't have like a building element or anything like that. It's more of you pick a person, and then the person that you pick has special abilities, weapon sets, and it kind of builds up from there. So
Gotcha. And it's made by Hi-Rez Studios, who did Paladins, so that's on the Switch. They did Smite, that's on the Switch. Realm Royale. They kind of take... They take, like, a popular game like Overwatch, and then they make their version of it, and it's good.
Yeah.
From what I've heard.
Comparing it to Overwatch is a good example. It's just it's a third person, not a first person, and you don't have crazy wacky superhero superpowers.
Well, I'm not comparing Rogue Company to Overwatch. I'm comparing Paladins and Overwatch to each other, where they're very similar.
Yeah.
And they just do it slightly different, but they do it really solid. So this is definitely one to watch out for, and if you're into those kinds of games.
It comes out in 2020, so I'm sure we'll hear some more about this game later down the road.
That's a year that's coming next.
Correct.
So it will release. I'm so sorry. Pokemon is next. Sword and Shield. More details on that. Personally, okay, don't care. What do you think, Galen?
I think the element of the Pokemon camps was an interesting thing that they had on there.
Yeah. What's that?
Well, the Pokemon camps is while you're going out on the field, you can go ahead and you can camp. It's a social element. It's the pet my Pokemon.
Rub a Pokemon.
Version. Yeah, it's the
I saw a dude
Pokemon.
rubbing on a Pokemon on the plane on the way here.
Usually they kick you out for that kind of thing, but I feel like they've really been wanting to give you an ability to interact with your Pokemon in a non-combat element, and this is just their version of doing that. They've had this the past couple of times. I like the idea that you can set up a campsite.
Yeah, this is their online element too.
Yeah.
One of them, actually.
One of my favorite things in Ruby and Sapphire back in the day for the Game Boy Advance were the secret bases that you can go ahead and you had to build a base, you hit it in a tree or you dug underground or something. But it was a really cool way to add your own element of personalization into the world of Pokemon. And I feel like this is also... I'm glad to see elements of that come through and kind of bring itself in. Because I want that. I want a space where I can personalize my things. Beyond that, the new thing that they have in there, which is cooking... specifically curry and Korean rice.
Over 100 types of curry. This is so British. Do you also
Okay.
have to colonize East India as well?
It is a good tribute considering the location of it and what Galar is actually based on. So I can see why that is there. From a gameplay element, I think it's just going to be like the addition of berries. It's going to be something that, this is something I got to keep in mind. I'll probably have to do it a couple of times. I'm sure there's a Pokemon that's related to it because they're looking for any way to spark that innovation there.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the curry I feel is going to be kind of a miss for me, but we'll see what happens on that.
I wonder how people feel about it. Let us know writing into us or whatever about your curry experience with the feelings of Sword and Shield curries.
Exactly.
After that, though,
they did have a couple new Pokemon.
yeah, Poltegeist. It's stupid. I
love
like
it.
Honestly, I've mentioned this before. As lukewarm as I am on this game, I really, really like the designs that they did for these Pokemon.
So-
Like, all of them so far have been either, like, the worst one has been fine, and the rest of them, great.
And I've been noticing a trend that they are trying so hard to make these new Pokemon unique.
Yeah.
And not only just in the design, but also in the way that they actually play.
Yeah.
Like, the other one that they came out with, Cremorant or something? I can't remember. But it's a bird that specializes in moves that use, like, surf and dive, but when they come out, they have a little fish.
Yeah.
And if they get hit while they have that fish in the mouth, they shoot
it out.
It's so quirky and weird, but I love it.
And that bird looks so dumb. I don't know exactly what it reminds me of, but it reminds me of a very specific
Dumb
thing.
in a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, its face is just like, so dumb. Like, that's the face that sound makes.
Yeah.
What? There's a design of something somewhere. There's a bird that it reminds me of. If anybody knows, let me know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I'm going to rack my brain. It's going to kill me until I figure it out.
The only other thing I want to mention from it is they did briefly talk about customizing your character and just the different clothes, the different hairstyles.
Yeah.
The hairstyles part I was very happy about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So...
I expected that, though, just based on what they did with, like, X and Y and everything moving
definitely
forward.
wasn't a surprise in any way, but I'm happy that they are giving it more attention in this one.
Yeah.
So...
And then, coveted Super Nintendo games coming to Nintendo Switch, already here.
Finally!
Breath of Fire is among them.
I knew you were going to be excited about that one.
Capcom make a new Breath of Fire. 6 never happened.
It's been quite some time.
It's been 86 years. I'm that old lady throwing her jewels off of the Titanic right now, talking about
Except
Breath
it's just
of Fire.
Breath of Fire 2 SNES cartridges.
No! I got it. I'm so excited. It's the Dragon's Tear from Breath of Fire 2, the one that changes color based on your affinity with people. I'm throwing that off of the Titanic. Wait, no, that was Under the Sea. Anyway, I love Breath of Fire. I love Super Nintendo. These games are all here, including, like, Star Fox and Link to the Past, including some really unexpected ones. Like, what was that racer called? The one, the Mode 7 racer?
Oh.
It's so unexpected, that one. But
yeah.
that's really, like, renowned in Super Nintendo circles. SNES Drunk is going to be excited about this.
I feel like this announcement was absolutely perfect because, one, the games that they came out with for this initial launch, great.
Yeah.
And there were some that were missing, but I feel like that's a good thing because that gives them something to build up on in the next coming months.
Yeah.
The fact that you can now play all these SNES games at no additional cost. And I know we haven't mentioned it, but also the announcement of the SNES controller.
I was just going to bring that up.
Which we talked about last episode.
Yeah.
Now that is an actual thing. It's a single controller, not the double pack.
Yeah, it's a single controller, and it has ZL/ZR buttons on there.
Uh-huh.
The only thing it's really missing is the analog stick. So as long as you don't need an analog stick, like the dual analog, for a game, you can use this controller, hypothetically, as a controller for all these other games.
And it also solved the question as to how you actually plug it in. You plug it in like the regular classic controller, which I'm okay with. I don't need to plug it into the side.
Yeah, slide it into the side.
It made sense with the NES controllers, but...
Sure.
Yeah. So...
Yeah, I'm really liking this. might even buy it. It's $30 US.
I've been thinking about it too.
That's a fair price.
I'm
for
sure it's starting to get like the list of those controllers are gone because this entire Switch Online announcement as a whole was exactly what Nintendo needed
6 months ago.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, they announced the games that they needed to. They gave us the price point that they needed to, which is the one they have currently. It didn't go up or anything. And they're showing the growth, and they're showing that they're actually listening to what people want in order to make this a more appealing aspect.
I think that they bit off more than they can chew with this Switch Online stuff, because I think that the programming was more complicated than they thought it was, just based on how slow, what a drip feed we've been getting on these games. Because now all these games have online co-op and stuff. That's wild, right?
Yeah.
That's exciting. Like, I'm happy to be excited about the Switch Online again.
Yes. Yeah, no, this is
I
a
just
good
wish that the
thing.
damn internet were better. Like, give us dedicated servers for your biggest games, please.
Yeah.
We're paying for your online. It feels like you took away a feature rather than gave us, you know?
Yeah.
And then some Tetris 99 stuff. I don't understand this because I'm terrible at Tetris. What's happening?
So basically, they have an extra mode where if you won first place in one of the Tetris ones, you now have a mode where you place against other people who have only won first place.
Okay.
And yeah, you know how much of a fan of Tetris
Terrible
I am.
at 99 you are.
Yeah, and I'm still absolutely terrible. at it.
Uh-huh.
That mode has nothing to do with me.
You'll never be able to play it.
I might get lucky once, but not for several years. Anyway, they also have some new ways to change things up. They have some new styles that you can go ahead and play, new game boards, new icons. They do have a couple new game modes to it as well, but those are all paid versions if you want to actually put some money into it.
Yeah,
which, you know, it's a free to start game. You can play the base mode as much as you want.
If you just want Tetris, I hear it is a good Tetris game.
Exactly.
And then there's a whole bunch of extra flair. I really like seeing how this was such a bare bones thing, and it was like a little bonus. Mm-hmm. And then now it's like flourishing.
Yeah.
Into all this different stuff, this new ecosystem. It's cool.
This is one of the things that only Nintendo could do, coming from, and I've said this so many times in the past, but coming from their online gaming approach without really considering what else has been done out there, gives them the freedom to try new things and try different things that you couldn't do on other platforms because of those expectations. Like,
what are you saying?
Like, you would not be able to put out Tetris 99 on, like, the PlayStation, for example.
Why?
Because there would be microtransactions and everything like that.
Oh,
from the very
okay,
beginning.
that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's just, he puts a lot of words into a sentence.
So, no, I'm very happy to see that this is doing well.
I also want to see Nintendo move on, you know, in 2020 to a new game that they're going to do the Tetris 99 treatment for. Like, not a Tetris game, but, like, what's the new game that they're going to hopefully flourish into something bigger? Mm-hmm. That was a big plus for Switch Online. Like, that's great. They did a good job with that one.
This has been a surprising direct for Switch Online as a whole.
Oh my god! This was such a long direct, too. It was 40 minutes, and, like, every time that I would, like, bump the controller by accident and I saw the timeline bar, I was like, oh my god, there's still so much more. Like, just end it right here. It's fine. I did that, like, 2 or 3 times.
Really?
Yeah. So moving on after Tetris, they did more Mario and Sonic stuff. I don't think they really announced anything. They kind of just showed off the retro thing that we saw before.
Yeah, they showed there's going to be retro styles. They showed that there's going to be a story mode.
We already knew that stuff. I translated a bunch of the stuff on our website about this and announced this to the Western world on our website. Check out NintendoEverything.com.
There you go.
Anyway, this game's coming November 5th. More game.
Moving on, I mean, that's really all.
It looks good. Honestly, it looks like probably the best Mario and Sonic game that I've seen yet. It is looking...
It's just,
choice.
it's kind of like the Dragon Quest announcement. Like, it was more of a reminder that this is coming up soon.
Yeah.
Nothing really new that we haven't already found out.
Then, Daemon X Machina popping out from the clouds being hang on guys, don't forget that I exist too.
Because it's easy to forget with how much stuff is out there.
It's a new IP, I don't want it to die, I don't want it to not succeed, but it's in such a tough time along with Little Town Hero, Astral Chain. it's just incredibly difficult to get seen right now. They're doing a great job of trying, though, because there is a free demo version also available right now. Can't wait to try that out and, like, compare all of the changes, the little changes that they made since that prologue demo and the feedback that they took from all of the fans. I can't wait to see how this plays. I'm sorry I've been behind on all of these games. Good God.
Yeah. No, I'm in the same boat. I did not play the first prologue demo. I regret not playing it.
Oh, what a dummy.
Yeah,
You're stupid.
It slipped through the cracks on me because I had so much other stuff that was kind of going on.
An idiot.
Yeah.
It's just slipping through his crack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I will say that with this new demo, I'm going to be downloading it because I really want to get my hands on this game.
You should. You should get your hands on it and you should blast your crack with all of the prologue demo, because the prologue demo, I'm trying to keep a straight face, not my strong suit. Hunty.
What is the quality of a podcast we have?
I don't know. It's only getting worse, too. I think our earlier episodes maybe were better. I don't know.
I don't know anymore.
I don't know. This demo is able to be carried over to your main game, which I love when demos do that. The Dragon Quest demo is the same way, so this is great. Super, super great. Supports 4-player co-op over local wireless, too, for a demo. That's amazing.
That's impressive,
The full game will support online play.
Yes.
And then, I have no idea about this because I don't know about Star Wars. I'm not a Star Wars guy. Star Wars Jedi Knights 2 Jedi Outcast?
Yeah,
Is this an old PC game?
Oh, yeah. No,
it's definitely an old game.
Yeah, this is definitely an old game. And it originally came out for the Xbox and the GameCube version. So there was a GameCube version of this game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
2002, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which
18 years ago. I know! I'm like, 7 years ago? No, 18 years ago. We have people who listen to our show who were not born in 2002. You know? It's weird.
Oh, jeez. I feel so old.
It's so weird. So, if you played this game when you were a fetus, maybe you'll enjoy playing it on your Nintendo Switch as well.
Hold on.
Speaking of fetuses, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Complete Edition. There has to be that game is so long. There has to be a fetus in it. Anyway, just a reminder that that's coming out. All DLC included. Coming out soon.
Yeah, I mean,
very soon.
Jedi Knight, Witcher 3, and then
Assia Creed.
Yeah,
Assia Creed correction.
They're bringing out the Assassin's Creed Black Flag, which is the more popular. Yeah, it was the more popular of the games, and we talked about this before when they first talked about Assassin's Creed 3 coming out.
Yeah.
We were very surprised they did not start with 4.
Yeah.
It's nice to see it's coming out. I still think it's very, very weird to re-release these games for the Switch, because I don't honestly see the point of it.
Especially when what I've heard is that the new versions of gameplay in Assassin's Creed, starting from Origins onward, is much more preferable to a lot of people who play these kinds of open-world games.
Well, and the Origins and Odyssey, which is the most recent one.
Yeah.
I haven't played it myself, but I know somebody who's very, very passionate about them.
Okay.
And they're all RPG based, and they're all it's such a stark contrast compared to what these games are.
Yeah.
These games are more about planning out your assassination and the skill of getting around and the skill of like actually making it happen, versus in the new one it's more about exploring, it's more about building up your character, and then while they still have those planning elements to it, it's not purely focused on that.
We should ask Cliff about it because he plays these games.
Okay.
Cliff knows all about this.
Gotcha.
And then moving on, Dauntless, which is like kind of like a Monster Hunter kind of thing, but like with totally different visuals.
Yeah, it's Monster Hunters with cyborg ninjas.
And it's free to start, I think, and it's got free content updates coming, hundreds of customizable gear options as well. This is cool. I'm excited to try this out and then be like, oh, I still don't like the gameplay of Monster Hunter.
Yeah, the tone of this game also reminds me a lot of...
Like an Alzheimer's patient.
The tone of this game also reminds me a lot of Warframe as well, where it's like, it's free to start, and then,
Yeah. So I'll download it. I'll give it a shot.
Yeah. It could be fun.
speaking of giving it a shot, Animal Crossing New Horizons, what everybody wanted to hear about.
Yeah.
We got lots of information on this, and to join us to talk about Animal Crossing,
We have my lovely wife, who happened to be waiting very patiently in the room. Mary, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Mary.
she's precious.
Mary is a Animal Crossing aficionado.
That's not true.
And yeah, we are very excited about this game. I've played it casually in the past myself, but would you like to tell me what you are excited about?
So I really enjoy the Pocket Camp version that it has right now. The thing that I'm really excited about is the whole crafting experience, because they take the crafting experience from Pocket Camp and make it so much deeper. Like, you can make your own axe and fishing rod and all of these things, and I'm really excited at the idea of you can invite animals to your island to hang out with you, and ask the ones that you don't like to leave, because some of those animals are rude.
You know, that crafting element, it almost feels a little bit like Minecrafty, a little bit, in the sense of like you going around and like building.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of games have that.
Sandbox.
Not just Minecraft.
Yeah.
From what I was reading, it's not locking any specific facial features or hairstyles to genders, so you can be whatever you want, look however you want, and I think that's really cool.
That's awesome.
And also, if you want to play a character with darker skin, you don't have to stand out in the sun to get a quote-unquote tan. You can choose your skin color in this game, which I can't believe we're saying that in 2019 about a game, but great job.
But that's what you couldn't do with the original. I mean, you were always a white character, and you were either a girl or a boy with girl hair and eyelashes, or weird, sleepy, sad eyes and boy hair.
I love how freaky they look sometimes. That's
Great.
my favorite appeal of playing as a villager in the Super Smash Bros. Is I always choose the freaky looking one. So, all kinds of options for your character, for skin color and gender options, non-binary options. Animal Crossing, the cyberpunk of the Nintendo Switch.
I can actually see where you're going with on that one. So yeah.
Except that I don't think that there's a whole bunch of, like, bearded idiots upset about the options, the accessibility options being added to Animal Crossing like they are with...
They're coming.
This is the internet, this is Nintendo, they're coming.
Have you been looking that hard?
So they showed off the deserted island getaway package that this game is based around. Someone needs to tell Nintendo right now, it's not a deserted island if there's like 8 other people there.
That was seriously my thought of when they were like, "What's the deserted island package?" It's like, well, can't it just be like an island package?
Yeah.
Because I mean, there's the island in New Leaf that you can go travel to, but I mean, you're trying to make it not a deserted island. So what's the point of calling it a deserted island?
It's the gentrification island package.
Right, exactly. the $8,000 a night for our Airbnb package. Damn Tom Nook's prices.
If you find any indigenous people, manifest destiny.
Give a face to all the fossils that you're going to dig up on the island.
Yeah. What?
I wish we had face cam because, my god, Mary's face is so cathartic for me. I have no idea what Galen says so often. And Mary just had that reaction.
I listened to this podcast, and when Galen says a Galen thing, and I go, "Shut up, what is that?" And then Anthony goes, "Shut up, what is that?" I go, "Oh, I'm not insane." And my poor mother, she just looks at me like when we go to family things, and I go, "Oh, Galen, Jesus, you're a 10. I need you at a 6. I can only handle you at a 6." And my mom goes, "Be nice to him." So she's my comment section. Being mean to Galen.
This is precious.
So it's not just Oni who's mean to me. It's basically just everyone.
No. It's not. I would like to correct for anyone who's just like, Oni's so mean to Galen. you can only have so much patience in your belly. Like, you have a patient pocket in your belly, and sometimes it just gets overfilled, and you just have Galen with his great big old hands trying to shove more stuff in there, and it just won't fit. It just won't fit. You get real sick, and it just regurgitates all out.
I love my wife.
So another person that can be mean to Galen is Tom Nook when he hands you the Nook phone. That way you can use all these different kinds of apps in the game. That's kind of your method, that's your menu, which is great.
Yeah.
I think that's fun little world building.
And I'm sure you're going to probably have to pay for that phone, too. It's included on the package. Yeah.
Of course. Tom Nook does not give things away for free. If anything, he puts more debt into your pocket, just like that tree that you can take out and put in your pocket and replant. Yeah. There's flowers that regrow once they're picked. Weeds now have uses as well.
Can make a flower crown.
I
and
know.
Be a giant, just a beautiful forest or island nymph, and just have your beautiful flower crown. And I'm gonna catch some fish and build me a fire.
So, fun story, Mary has actually taken time off of work when this game first comes out.
Awesome.
And
Don't tell work that.
Work doesn't listen.
It's probably true.
But I've already conceded to the fact that I'm not going to be having the Switch for like a week and a half, 2 weeks after this game comes out.
That's a very generous time limit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for you
Yeah.
to not have this.
You have to leave the house at some point.
You really underestimate my ability to reschedule things.
So it sounds like you guys are going to need a Switch Lite and be a 2-Switch household. I have a feeling, because Nintendo has done this with their entries before, they're going to do an Animal Crossing Switch Lite Extreme, not Extreme, Collector's Edition or something like that, with a new design on it.
I will get you a Switch Lite just with Animal Crossing, if that is a thing.
I want a yellow one with Isabelle stickers all over it.
Nintendo, if you haven't finalized your designs, that's where you need to go with it, clearly.
That's where you're at.
You have the yellow dye already. You used it on your other model.
Exactly.
So, that is March 2020.
2020.
Yeah, take work off, kids.
Yep.
Yeah, that was correct.
Kids work.
The words I said were weird.
Aren't they always?
The Nook Miles are a new way to, like, buy luxury.
Oh.
And it's like a new currency form that they're using. I'm not entirely sure how you get these Nook Miles. I think...
From what I saw from the trailer, it was mainly you do certain tasks. So it's like almost like achievements that you get within the game, but when you do those achievements, they give you points to go along with it, and you can cash in those points for unique items and things like that.
I think the term miles just got me confused. Like, I was like, am I just walking around about it? Is like my step counter? Like, you do like special things around with your step counter. But yeah, I'm a little worried about the Nook Miles thing, because one of the things that I had a huge problem with Pocket Camp were the ticket aspect.
Yeah.
Like, that was just because they have so many really cool things that you can buy, like the especially when they have the fortune cookies, and they only have a limited time out. They're random, so you never know what you're gonna get, and they all cost tickets.
Yeah.
And it is freaking really hard to get tickets unless you are like kissing ass of every animal that is there camping, or you're buying them. And
it is the only time that I have ever heard you come up to me and it's like, sweetheart, I only need to spend $80.
and then I'll have like 3,000 tickets, which also is not that much, because a single cookie is 50 tickets. That's a lot of tickets. I'm getting real squeaky. 50 tickets. I get real squeaky when I'm passionate about stuff. It's annoying.
Yeah. Sort of on that topic, there is what seems to be like some sort of stamina or food gauge that is connected to some of the more physically enduring tasks, like picking up the tree. So that's going to be an interesting addition.
Yeah.
Well, and I wonder if it's going to then also leave room for, like, a cooking option of, like, you know, you will have fish and then you cook fish, or can you eat bugs? I mean, can you go full Tom Hanks and, like, on Castaway and take a skate to remove a tooth? I don't know.
I was actually just sitting here thinking, is there a Wilson animal? I'm not sure.
There has to be one that's named something similar to Wilson.
Yeah.
It's just Marshall. He's he's a little white squirrel. He might be a white chipmunk. It's Marshall. Marshall, no! Don't go in the water!
Are you excited for, like, new animal additions or new characters that'll be?
I am, with, Pocket Camp. There are so many really cute animals. Like, I'm looking at, like, just the evolution of the adorableness of the animals. And you have your classic adorable animals, but I really feel that they're just kind of cranking it up for new animals. I am excited for just, like, different types, because, you know, it kind of started out with just, like, cats, bears, and bunnies, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And now, you know, they have sloths and
Penguins.
unicorns and just all of these really different animals, so I'm excited to see what they come out with.
Yeah. So, Mary, thank you so very much for popping in and giving us your very detailed Animal Crossing experiences.
Well, thanks for having me.
Like I said, she's an aficionado.
I'm not an aficionado.
Ending the Nintendo Direct with this stinger makes me so happy. This is indicative that Nintendo cares about this property, and it's a big property for them.
Mm-hmm.
Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition for Nintendo Switch. My god, did I want this to happen, and it did!
Knew you were going to be excited about this.
I'm so happy. It looks great, too, from the little stuff that we saw. The character model is totally different for Shulk and Fiora.
Yeah.
They are really similar to the ones that we saw in Xenoblade 2, which is a brand new character model, I think redesigned by... God, who was it by? Was it by Soraya Saga? I don't remember. We've seen that they've added... It's not just, like, texture upgrades. It's redone geometry, which is huge for that game. The world is enormous in that game.
Yeah.
They've added blades of grass instead of just a grassy texture where, like, Shulk is laying down. The mountains have so much more dimension to them. I can't wait.
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait. This is going to be so exciting. I'm hoping that there's even quality of life features in this, like a run or some reworks with the menu. Hopefully the inventory system is not as limited as I remember it being in the first game. The quest log, hopefully there's a better quest log for that. Just the potential is there. I am so happy about video games. If ever you need to think about anything and make you happy, it's video games. Galen, you never played the first one, did you?
I did not. No.
Time to grow up and play Xenoblade Chronicles.
Be an adult, get your life in order, and play games.
What else is there to say about this? Release is 2020, whenever.
Yes.
Who knows?
As long as it's not October.
Yeah. My god, I hope that they do a limited edition BS thing with it too. I want it. I want it so bad. Really bad.
What if they came out with a limited edition Switch Lite for Xeno? Your face, the pain on your face, and the conflict I see in you is priceless.
I don't think that they would do a Switch Lite, though. I think that they would market that as a proper Switch.
Yeah. Would you get one?
What if they did a Switch Pro limited edition of Xenoblade?
Yeah. Oh, can you imagine what this game would look like on a Switch Pro?
No, because Switch Pro doesn't exist. So, thank you very much to all of the people that tweeted at me because you knew I was on a plane and I couldn't see any of this. So many people tweeted at me and said a bunch of really nice things, including Sammy, who I insulted when I was drinking. So sorry. So, additional DLC, I don't really have anything. Just check out what we had last week. Like, those are good. That's good. What did we recommend last week? I don't know. I'm so sorry for the audio quality. We skipped everything. We're not skipping, though, the listener mail.
Definitely.
We love our listeners. We've been getting lots of emails lately. So excited about that. Saw some more pouring in after the direct. Can't wait to read them all and to read them out on the show. So if we haven't read your email yet, it's in the queue.
Nice.
And if you want to be in that queue, that special queue... God, I feel like I flub this every time. Anyway, you can write into us to our email. Our podcast email... Our email is... Shut up.
It's a Bakari sweat talking.
Nintendo Everything Pod at gmail.com.
That email again is nintendoeverythingpod@gmail.com.
And if you were in this queue and you could get your email read out, you'd be like Jesus.
Jesus writes in, "It's Jesus again. How are you guys doing? Love your podcast. Keep it up. I just wanted to ask about pre-order bonuses. I've been hoping for something big for Pokemon in the US, like the UK Golden Cases. Doesn't look like we are getting anything. What do you guys think? I'd love to have something unique, like the Luigi's Mansion 3 glow-in-the-dark case. Also, what are your most proud of pre-order bonuses? Would love to know. Hope you guys see this email again." We definitely did.
We did.
I was surprised when I heard you guys read my email that I couldn't wait to go home and show my fiance.
Aww.
I was at work. Anyway, love the podcast and love your YouTube channel, Game Married. Keep up the good work, and thank you guys for everything. Have a great day. You have a great day too, Jesus.
Thank you, Jesus. That is really, really kind, and I hope that you're having a nice time at work, which hopefully you're listening to this, and hopefully we're brightening up your day a little bit. And thank you very much for the compliments on my YouTube that I do with my husband Cliff.
Absolutely.
And you know what? Special shout out to Jesus's fiance. How you doing? I hope you're doing well. I don't know anything about you. I'm sorry. So thank you, Jesus, for writing in. Let's talk about pre-order bonuses, Galen. You are a big one on this, aren't you?
So I am, and I have conflicting ideals when it comes to pre-order bonuses as a whole.
Well, tell me.
So there are certain games that I will admit, I see a special costume or something like that, I'm like, hey, that would be kind of cool. If it's a game that I am already going to buy, I will do the pre-order just so I can get the pre-order bonus. I never want to say that getting, like, the actual pre-order bonus itself is the incentive that gets me to buy the game itself.
Okay.
What is enough and what is too much,
right,
and what is not enough.
Because also with pre-order bonuses, I don't like the gatekeeping thing, or like, oh, you can only get this if you pre-order, that kind of thing. Like, how about you get it for free if you pre-order and then it's DLC later? I still don't like that because it's like, just put it in the game. But I know and understand the marketing tactic of doing pre-order bonuses, so from that mindset, I can understand.
Well, and I remember it was really bad. There are games like the Batman Arkham series, especially Arkham Knight, where you had pre-order bonuses that were different depending on where you actually pre-ordered the game from.
That sucks. I remember Hyrule Warriors on the Wii U did that.
Yep. And that is the kind of thing that kind of really gives that negative stigma to why is pre-ordering a game a bad thing? Other than the obvious, you're giving money for a product that you have no idea, A, if it's even going to come out.
Right.
Or B, what the quality of it's going to be.
And we've seen so many games released, and they're not finished. They need to bake so much longer.
Exactly.
That is a big problem. So that's why, I really don't pre-order things very often at all.
On the other side of that scale, you also have the pre-order bonuses that are put in and such a lackluster effort that it's almost like, what is the point of you even doing that? I'm going to call out Resident Evil 2 Remake for this, because I love the game. I pre-ordered it because I wanted to have it as soon as possible, and I had the money on hand that I could go ahead and do that. So let's take care of it now, get it over with. With that came a pre-order bonus of some special edition guns that I never used.
Yeah, because why do you want to start off the game, be overpowered, and then not enjoy the game?
But here's the thing, the guns weren't even overpowered. They were the 3 guns that were cosmetic. It was Jill's version of the gun, Chris's version of the gun, and Wesker's version of the gun. They all did the exact same thing, but you couldn't get any upgrades for the guns. There were no custom parts or anything like that.
That's bad. If that's what it was, that's
Exactly.
bad.
Yeah, that was literally it. It was, you had a 9mm that I think could hold 15 bullets or 15 rounds in it, as opposed to your starter gun, which could hold 11. But then you got the extended magazine clip as like the first upgrade that you can get.
Yeah.
So it's frustrating to see when those kind of things come around.
Yeah.
What I love most with pre-order bonuses is costumes, and it has to be something that you can get regardless just by pre-ordering the game itself.
So I think that a physical good is something that I like to see with pre-order bonuses. I'm
Yeah.
not big, and I don't have like a really strong opinion about this a lot. But like, so for example, going back to what Jesus was saying specifically about Pokemon, the UK is getting a golden case, and the US version so far nothing. I think that a nice case is always a good option. The steel cases are cool for the Switch things in particular because they're a different shape.
Absolutely, yeah. But you also find a lot of those like steelbook cases in like collector's versions of the game.
Yeah.
Come out too. So
with Pokemon, something like a sticker or little cheap things like that are, I think, a good fit because those characters are so unique, or not unique, but like recognizable.
You know what I think would be very unique for, and specifically for this Pokemon, is if they came out with like a blind box system with like 6 different figures, and they were only like an inch or 2 tall, and then when you pre-ordered it, you got one of those.
I hate that. I hate that you're suggesting this. It's like you're like, oh, I hate doing the thing that different retailers.
It's a physical good. It's unique.
It's a blind box. You're putting loot boxes into the real world. You just like shlooting. I don't want to hear your shlooting nonsense.
All right.
Maybe the other people do, though. Please explain your stupid theory.
No. It's just, I feel like if you're looking for a physical good to add in that will be cost effective, because you don't want to give them like an item that could be wrapped in with a collector's edition. You have to have it be a little bit more accessible. So, and I remember actually when I want to say in college I pre-ordered one of the Naruto games or something like that, because I was really big into those fighting games at the time.
He would run like Naruto all the time.
You think I can run?
Yeah, Galen never runs. He honestly never moves at high speed.
But with that came a little figure that just with a pre-order, and it was just that. It was just like a 2-inch figure that was just meant to stand up next to your console or whatever like that.
It's like a collector's edition, though, bonus.
But it came in as a pre-order bonus. And I looked into it. It was actually one of the ones that came in the console, or the capsule vending things that you can get over here in Tokyo.
Gachapon.
Yeah. So it was just something
They just
like
had
that.
a lot of those.
Mm-hmm. So I think, like, if you're looking for something for the Switch version, that would be a unique thing, and I think that there's enough options that you can make it feel special on that. And it kind of also goes into the whole gotta catch 'em all collecting, trading mentality of it.
This upsets me. It genuinely upsets me. But something like that, like, they already have the mold, they're already producing it, like, all that stuff is fine, and they just, increase production on this one particular thing.
Yeah.
Instead of it being a blind box, how about it just be, your little figure thing, your little
Exactly.
gachapon that comes with it. But the only thing is that it's big in the fact that it would have to be packaged separately. Packaging costs suddenly go up. I don't know. It's hard, because if it's just a pre-order bonus, it's not costing you anything, then it's like, well, it has to stay cheap, right? But I do think that is a good one. Sans your shlooting nonsense.
Speaking of shlooting, I want to address the last question of this, and which is, which pre-order bonuses am I proud of?
Oh, yeah.
So...
Destiny?
Yeah, Destiny.
You garbage human.
So I did pre-order Destiny, and when you pre-ordered it, you actually got a special ship that came along with it. And the ships are purely cosmetic. It's literally what you're flying around in during the loading screens.
I'm making weird faces at Caleb right now.
And then, not only that, like, you can get that ship model in-game itself, too, but it was the color palette that actually went along with it. And I think I used that ship for almost the entire time I played Destiny 1. So.
Because you had it.
Because
so you had to use it.
Yeah.
I honestly can't think of any pre-order bonuses that I have. I can think of, like, collector's editions that I decided to choose. Like, the Xenoblade 2 one with the art book is gorgeous. Mm-hmm. I love the art book. I like getting art books a lot as my collector's edition. But I honestly can't think of a pre-order bonus that I have at all. Like, I feel bad for saying this. That's, like, not an answer. But going on to collector's editions just to kind of give a talk, I really like the Octopath Traveler collector's edition with the little pop-ups and stuff.
Yeah, the little diorama.
It's really cute and really creative. Mm-hmm. I like that a lot, and I'm really glad that I bought that.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, and thank you so much for your kind words, Jesus.
Thanks again, Jesus.
And what up to your fiance? What?
Nothing.
I'm not hitting her up.
No, you're just giving me a...
I'll let you, girl.
Okay. So again, you want to write in NintendoEverythingPod@gmail.com. That's the email.
NintendoEverythingPod@gmail.com.
So send in those emails because we got, unfortunately, 2 weeks before the next podcast.
We'll have a lot of them.
We'll have a grand episode for you then. That's going to be the post-TGS episode, so I'm going to have a lot to say. I may still be dead at the time, as always.
Once a resurrection kicks in, we'll write up the podcast.
So sorry for the audio quality on this episode too, because probably I'm going to be doing minimal editing on it. So what's coming up? What's coming out on NintendoEverything.com? I don't know.
Find out.
I'm so busy, I didn't even watch the Direct until like 48 hours after the Direct came out. And I'm editing this like super late. I'm just so behind on so many things. Sorry. NintendoEverything.com has great stuff though. We're going to have a lot coming out for TGS. I have a lot of stuff that I'll be doing that we're going to be putting out exclusive content for. So check it at NintendoEverything.com.
Yeah.
Also the Twitter @NinEverything, the YouTube where we're going to be putting footage from TGS for sure. YouTube.com/NinEverything. And then you need to stay in touch with both Galen and I through social media. This is the weeks to be in touch because we're stupid and we need to use our socials better.
Oh yeah.
So my Twitter is @Oni_Dino. My Twitter is @Mobius087. And then my Instagram where I make bad decisions. So much shame @Oni__Dino.
Mm-hmm. And my better decisioned, but not by that much, Instagram is true_Mobius.
Is it? Is that what it is?
It is. I actually checked it.
Oh, good job. Yeah. And then
I have Bakari Sweat.
Shut up. And then I have also my YouTube that I do with my husband Cliff. It's called Game Married. It's GAYME Married. And upload schedule is Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I think I screwed up last Friday. Really sorry. Clearly, too many things going on in my life and plate spinning, but I will have episodes coming out regularly somehow. And then in the near future, we will be going back to 6 days a week.
And you know what? I'm going to throw this out just as a blast of the past. If you want to see the two of us just yell at each other in video games, we have a couple videos on Super Turbo Fighters on our YouTube channel that I have not touched for several months. So watch them, and yeah, maybe we'll start it up again.
Also, do you want to see us do a mukbang? I'm really interested in this UFO chicken that's happening here.
Is it UFO or UFO? Like,
we're in Japan, it's pronounced UFO.
Oh, okay.
It's just a bunch of chicken around a circle of cheese. Who'd have thought?
Okay.
Why is Korea and Japan becoming Midwestern America?
I have no words for you.
Because of mukbangs.
Honestly, let us know if you want us to do this mukbang, because I'm interested.
Okay.
So give us a rating. Mukbang us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. I don't know.
Sounds wrong.
It really does. blasting your crack on iTunes or Apple Podcasts. 5 stars, please. Give it. And have fun. A nice time. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Really sorry about next week. It's bad to end with the sorries. I'm Onidino. How do we end this podcast?
For everything.
For everything. Nintendo.
Stay tuned to Nintendo Everything.
For Tokyo Game Show and everything. Mata ne. Bye bye.
Later.
すごいすごい。Nintendo 大好き。